Welcome back to Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones. Last time we saved a village from obligatory early game bandits, but Erica was kinda dumb and didn't take the village's advice and her bracelet got stolen. So it's time for the great adventure to retrieve the lost bracelets. And the chapter title should give you a pretty good idea of who we're going to be fighting. First I want to show something. Ide is our first world map location that has an armory. You can tell by that little sword icon above its location name. So here we can choose to enter the armory, and I'm going to do so with Erica, thanks to that red gem, which serves no purpose other than selling, so let's go ahead and do that. And you might notice they've got a pretty expanded list of items compared to back in the main chapter. This is what I was saying before. Armories and shops on the world map have different inventories. Usually it's better. There's exactly one case in the game where there's an item you can only buy during the chapter itself and not from the world map. That's not until much later though, but I'll be sure to point that out. So we can buy iron swords or slim swords. Slim swords are a lot weaker than iron ones, but are lighter, more accurate, and have a higher crit rate. Personally, I don't think the lowered might is really all that worth it overall. I would rather just go for iron swords. Most sword users have enough con to use these without any speed penalty anyway, so it's pretty much fine. Slim lances are a little different because iron lances are kinda heavy. Speaking of heavy, yeah, javelins and hand axes have a lot of weight. At the moment, though, I don't think I'm going to buy anything. This might sound weird, but we are going to be getting a couple of weapons in this next chapter anyway, so... let me just... Okay, right. There is something I need to do. That is to give Mulder his... have Mulder give Seth his weapons back. And I'm not sure who should get that pure water. It's actually not going to be useful for, definitely not this chapter. Next chapter it might be necessary, so I'm going to put that in the convoy. So let's move on to Borgo Ridge. The thief who stole from Erica seems to be an NPC, not an enemy. And yeah, remember this guy? We're obviously going to be fighting him here. Well, actually, she's mostly doing this because her bracelet was stolen, but, oh well. So, more bandits, once again. But it'll definitely help if we take out the bandit headquarters. Well, the knights are gone now. The only knights left are pretty much with us, so it falls to us to handle this. So we've got to do something about this. Oh, hello there, person with a unique portrait. Well, that's what the enemy general we met called us. So, firstly, who's Colum? Used to be. Well, that's a definitely a bad sign. Well, once again, we've have people who are the only survivors of villages. Well, that happens to where we're heading now, anyway. Oh, right. Well, we have to help her out. Just so happen we're heading that direction anyway. Spoken like a true knight. And she knows where to lead us too. Extra bonus. sounds an awful lot like the reason why another female archer in the GBA games is good with a bow. And yep, we're fighting this guy. Short and to the point. So, we're in a bandit stronghold. First thing I want to do is check this thief's speed. Okay, he has 10 speed. Sometimes he has 11 speed, and that causes problems later. You might notice that some of these enemies, if you look at them, have items in their inventory that are not listed as green. Any item that's shown as green, the enemy will drop when they're killed. But this item is not green. Neither is this one. We'll find out what to do with that soon. We also have, yep, it's Bazba himself as our boss this time. So we're pretty much gonna root out this problem at the source. But before we can talk about that, we have, Nemi? I'm not really entirely sure how to pronounce her name. I always used to call her Nemai, but I don't think that's, really correct. I suppose I'll keep saying this. So yes, a childhood friend of Colum, who we don't even know about yet, who hails from Renee. Nemai is an archer. In the vast majority of Fire Emblem games, archers tend to be one of the worst classes in the game, if not the absolute worst. They can't attack from close range, and they tend to have pretty terrible stats all round. Combined with very high weight on a lot of their weapons, it means they generally won't double or kill things. They're usually only good for just doing some chip damage. The upside is that archers' promoted classes tend to be very good. The issue is actually getting them there. Low starting stats combined with being an archer means Nemai struggles quite a lot early on. She is not able to consistently double things until around the end of the first act, I find, and she's not that great at outright killing things. You also won't be fighting many flyers this early in the game, so the effectiveness bonus won't get much of a chance to be used there. However, Sacred Stones is a game that has options for catering to people who like training characters, and it just so happens that Nemai turns out pretty good if she is trained. Her growths all around are very, very good, and she does tend to end up pretty amazing by the end of the game. Yeah, people who care about efficiency don't like people like her, but I often find myself using her just to have a powerful legendary bow user in the endgame, although I do admit her start is pretty bad. Nemai got kind of a strange nerf in the English version. She lost 1 point of base HP. It's not that big of a deal since this is a stat that she was pretty weak in anyway, but 1 point of HP can mean the difference between life and death sometimes. Just as an aside, Nemai is the only unpromoted archer you get in this game, so she is the only one you ever need an Orion's Bolt for. I'm mostly saying this because secret shops later on will try and sell you Orion's Bolts. This is a complete scam, you only ever need one. Anyway, Nemai can promote to either Sniper or Ranger, and this is one of the rare cases in this game where I feel the choice is a complete no-brainer. Sniper is on foot, restricted to bows, and has the most hilariously useless class skill in the game. Ranger is mounted, so has far higher movement, has higher con, and gives access to swords, giving her a decent melee option. There is really no reason why I would ever go Sniper. I guess I'm obliged to talk about Sure Strike. It's another one of those level percent skills, this time your level, and it makes your next attack automatically hit. Yeah, because snipers totally need help hitting things. I still find this skill to be one of the most useless out of any skill that's appeared in any Fire Emblem game. Ranger, on the other hand, is pretty much Nomadic Trooper. They're just not called that because there's no Sakai in this game. Or Bow Knight if you're used to later games. Sure, it has 1 point less of a strength cap than Sniper, but that's definitely not worth giving up extra movement, swords, and extra con for. In some games in the series, longbows can't be used by mounted archers. This is not one of those games. Well, yeah, I guess snipers can use ballistas while rangers can't, but there really aren't many maps with ballistas in this game. Once again, I don't think it's worth giving up being mounted for. So yes, she is our archer, and to start with, she is not going to be doing that much damage. But I don't want to use her to fight this guy. I want to use Ross. I like to use this guy over the wall as a punching bag for him. So you can break down this wall by attacking it, but the enemies are too stupid to do that, even if they've got a bunch of axes flying over the wall into their face. So I'm just going to sit here and have Ross wail on this guy until he dies. This tends to give Ross a pretty decent amount of experience. Now, I do want to make sure that Nimai moves as far up as she can, because I am precognitive of something that's about to happen in the future. And Franz, I like to send Franz with him. I guess Gilliam can go too. Seth can go too, I guess, in case I need him. And Vanessa and Garcia, I like to have them stay behind. Though I will want Mulder to go with my main group. So the enemy's not going to do anything, because they're too dumb to break the walls. But hey, we remember you. Hi there, Mr. Bracelet Thief. So we have an NPC on the map, and he's looting his way through the chests. Oh, right. This is Colum. Well, we obviously know what to do with him. This is the guy who rushed into the enemy base just to steal back something that she lost. So, let's talk him out of his stupidity. But there's something special about these two. They said they've known each other since they were kids. And for that reason, they've unlocked a support automatically. This is your tutorial on how the support system works in this game. You have characters support on the battlefield once they've acquired enough support points by fighting adjacent to each other. In this case, Colm and Nimai only require, well, only is a bit weird because they require 0 points to reach C. So let's initiate a C support conversation just to show it off. So these two are childhood friends, you can obviously guess where that's going to go. And that's apparently supposed to be a compliment. Well, that was kind of awkward. Colum can be a pretty big jerk sometimes, but he does mean well overall. Now, that guy right there... Oh, by the way, forgot to point this out. Colum, childhood friend of Nimai who hails from Renee. He can be snide. Well, we've seen that already. Colum is our first thief, and our only thief for a while, and as such, he is really, really useful. Thieves are far more of a utility class than a combat one. They can use the exclusive lockpick item to open doors or chests, they have an extended vision range in Fog of War, and in the GBA games, thieves can actually steal items from enemies. You can't steal weapons though, only items like vulneraries or gems, seals, things like that. In order to steal from an enemy, your thief needs to have equal to or higher speed than the target, and can't have a full inventory. There are actually quite a few items in the game you can only obtain by stealing, and there are a couple of bosses later on who are easily cheesable by stealing certain protective gear they have. Oh, I'm gonna have fun with that later. Thieves also have more movement than most unpromoted foot classes at 6, which helps them get where they're needed. They are very, very fragile though, and don't have a lot of attack power. Now, there are some thieves in the series that have insane growth rates and become really powerful fighters if they're trained. Colum isn't exactly one of those. 40% strength growth is alright, but at a base of 4, it's not really going to go that high. And a base of 4 skill is even worse, because it means that unlike some other low strength characters in this game, he can't make up for his lack of attack power with a decent crit rate. His HP growth is actually pretty great for a thief, but it's mitigated by having pretty low defenses. In general, Colum is someone who you want to be using more for his utility than his actual combat ability or potential, and for that, you don't need to train him at all, although he will need to gain a few points of speed in order to steal some important items later down the line. Speaking of which, Colum's base speed took a 2-point nerf in the English version. This is actually pretty significant, as every point of speed counts when it comes to stealing. In fact, it actually causes problems in this very chapter, as I'll be talking about later. Column's promotion is kind of interesting. In the first GBA Fire Emblem game, FE6, thieves couldn't promote at all. In the second, you could use the Fell contract to promote them to Assassin. The Fell contract is not in this game though. Instead, thieves promote with, of all things, an Ocean Seal. Yeah, the same item that promotes pirates. And I guess it does make sense that thieves and pirates have the same promotion item, but the name just doesn't sound like something you'd apply to a thief. And if you're wondering whether it made more sense in Japanese, it didn't. If anything, it made less sense because the Ocean Seal is called Conqueror Proof in the Japanese version. So if you promoted Ross to Pirates, the only way you're getting a promotion item for Colum is to buy one from the secret shop, and they're very expensive. Really though, Colum doesn't need to promote to be useful. But in case you want to, his options are Rogue, which is a new class in Sacred Stones, although some fan translations called Thief Fighter from the SNES games Rogue. It is effectively the same class. Or Assassin. The general idea is that Rogue increases your thieving utility, while Assassin makes you better in combat. Their stat averages are very similar, and in fact both of them have identical caps. But Rogue comes with the Pick skill, which lets you open any door or chest without needing a key or even a lockpick. Essentially, this gives you the ability that thieves have anyway in a lot of other games in the series. You can actually buy door keys in Sacred Stones, so this isn't as necessary as you'd think. Also, we will be getting a pre-promoted Rogue later on, who obviously will have this ability at base, and we'll be getting him around the time Colum will be ready to promote anyway. So it really depends on whether or not you need 2 users of the Pick skill, which you usually don't. Assassin gives a boost to your sword rank, but the main draw of it is the Silencer skill, which in other games in the series is called Lethality. It works interestingly in this one. Instead of being a fixed chance of an instant kill, it's a 50% chance of activation on any normal critical. Basically, if the game rolls a crit, it then flips a coin to see whether or not the enemy will instantly die. You'll know if they do because the animation is different. To put it another way, if you had a 100% hit rate and a 30% crit rate, you'd effectively have a 15% chance of instant killing an enemy. Unlike in some games, it can work on bosses here, but its chances of doing so is halved. The cool thing about Silencer in the GBA games is that you can directly impact its chances of activating by equipping a killer weapon. One thing to also note is that in the GBA games, enemies killed with Silencer give double experience. Kinda weird, but true. While Silencer is normally a pretty cool skill, I don't really think Colum is the best user for it. He has a fairly low skill stat for a sword user, so he doesn't get much critical hits anyway. I should also note that assassins lose the ability to steal. They can still use lockpicks though, and they also have another ability that's pretty rarely documented, but it's not ever that useful. They can disarm traps, and by extension also have the ability to pick up mines and put them back in their inventory. You'd never know this in Sacred Stones though, because while the mine does exist in the game's data, it's unobtainable. Overall, Colum doesn't need to promote to be useful, but if I ever do promote him, it's usually to Rogue. I prefer him more as a utility unit than an actual fighter. So yes, Colum is our first thief, and that'll come in handy because we have doors and chests to open here. But first, more Ross training. It's kind of funny, the more hits this guy takes to die, the better, because each hit gives Ross an enormous amount of experience. There are not going to be any reinforcements from those stairs, so don't worry about that. Let's see, where can you reach? Oh, you can reach all the way up to there. I can lure you in with Franz. Still equipping that iron sword. And yeah, I like to send Mulder around with the main group. These two will stay back. I like using their ranged weapons to crack open those walls, but that'll be for later. Not that much evasive terrain on this map. Kind of contrary to, how indoor maps have been in the most recent installment in the series. I hate the tile terrain type so much, it's completely stupid. But anyway, more Ross axe throwing. I love this hatchet, it's so accurate. Okay, ooh, no speed. Well, I'm pretty sure he did gain speed from that first level up because his base is 3, so that's fine. You only want a couple of speed with Ross, but you want him to at least gain some speed. Franz is not doubling you, speaking of some speed, so that's unfortunate. Which means we're a little bit roadblocked here. Let's see if Nimai can do this. If people correct my pronunciation on her name, then I will change it, don't worry. I don't like having to slow down Colin, but let's see. Okay, you do enough, nice. It's sadly the main thing that Nimai is good for early on is either doing chip damage or just finishing off severely weakened enemies, because archers are not that great in this game. Their promoted classes are pretty amazing, though. Well, I mean, sniper's not really, it's mostly just ranger, but anyway. And still, the enemies are not doing anything. Thankfully, Colin can catch up relatively quickly, because thieves have a base movement of 6, which is actually the equivalent of most on-foot promoted classes. Now let's finally finish you off. And with that, we can break this wall. And we get a door key, so we don't even need Colin to open this one. And we won't need him to open the chest either, because this guy, oh so conveniently, happens to be carrying the key. He'll also oh so conveniently throw it over the wall when he dies. So there's one wall broken down. Now on to the next part. Now there's an enemy around here, that guy who has a hand axe. I generally don't want him to reach Ross, but I don't want that guy to reach Ross especially, because he is quite accurate and hits Ross fairly hard. But notice how his attack range extends one above that door. I'm going to use this to lure the archer away to a point where he won't be a problem for Ross. I guess Mulder can go over there. At the moment, not much interesting is going on, but that will change. Speaking of noting movement ranges, note this thief's movement range. You don't want to be next to him. You don't want to let anyone with less than 10 speed near him. Because like I said in Column's bio, thieves can steal items in this game. And like I said earlier as well, we're going to be getting a bunch of new weapons here from these chests, so that's why I didn't buy stuff. Here's the issue. If I move Ross here to wail on this guy, which is what I want to do, the archer is going to attack him. Generally speaking, Ross is okay against the archer alone, but if both the archer and the hand axe guy gang up on him, then it's generally bad. So before I do that, I think I'm going to try and lure that archer. And I'm just going to have Seth just sit here. There's no risk of Seth slaughtering the guy, because he doesn't have a javelin or anything like that. And I'm going to get ready to rush the door when needs be. Double thick walls here, which is nice, 'cause it means the archer can't attack over them. And I'm going to actually have Mulder go there, just in case I need him to heal Ross if the archer attacks. I could open that door if I was stupid, but I won't do that. And, okay, you haven't moved. Gilliam is not going to be that useful in this chapter. Okay, a hand axe guy attacked him. That leaves the archer still open. But as long as both him and the archer don't gang up on Ross at once, I'm generally going to be fine. Okay, just got to watch that thief here. I think at this point I should be alright. I forgot about that other hand axe guy. And Ross levels up again! And luck. That's okay. Right, let's have Colum. I'm going to have Colum go here, just in case I need him when that thief comes. And an iron sword. That is going straight on Erica, so she finally gets to stop using that rapier. Because it's a little too valuable for this point in the game. So, let's see. Nobody here has a door... Did someone there drop a door key? I forget. I think I'm actually going to have to use Colum to open that anyway. I don't exactly want to use Nimai to attack this guy, though, because, yeah, she will die in 2 hits. And she does exactly enough to kill him if she criticals, and that would be terrible, because that would mean the archer would go for her. I'm not going to do that. I am that scared of her criticaling. Sometimes criticaling enemies is a bad thing. Okay, Okay, these two are going to get ready to break the wall when they need to, and Mulder's still going to be there. And that guy goes for Ross, which I think is fine. Because, yeah, as long as Mulder keeps healing him, he's generally going to be okay. Unless I have Ross attack that guy instead of the other one, so I'm going to have Ross attack here. And like I said, as long as Mulder keeps healing him, he's generally going to be okay. But I should probably knock that door down soon, because I want to get rid of that archer. Because if Ross kills the hand axe guy and then the archer attacks him on the same turn, that's not going to end well. Okay. Right, I'm going to open that. There is a reason for this. Okay, if Franz goes there, can Franz one-round this archer? I'm guessing he can't without the lance. And that's kind of a shaky hit rate. Alright. So, in this case, I'm actually going to go ahead and not kill that guy. Because for some reason, Franz isn't doubling him. Oh well. I'm actually perfectly okay with Franz not killing him this turn, because that way I can just, let's see, go there to prevent Colum getting attacked. Actually, there's that thief. Remember how I said that I don't want anyone with less than 10 speed going near this guy? Well, if I am, I want them to give all their vulneraries to someone else. You can probably tell why I'm saying all this. I am actually going to put... Okay, I'm sure that if I put Seth there, he's not going to end up killing anyone. And if he kills the thief, it's really not the end of the world. Okay. Let's see what the enemy does here. Yeah, still going for Ross. Thankfully, Ross has no chance of critting this guy, because that would end very badly. And that was enough for a level up. Just barely, though. I would appreciate more strength or speed, but this is still fine. Luring this archer in, which is good. I'll hopefully be able to take him out next turn. And what is that thief going to do? Hi there, thief! Okay, that's actually fine. I said I wouldn't use Seth to kill stuff, but I'm glad this thief is gone. This guy can steal your items, and if he does, the only way to get them back is to have Colum steal them back. That is the reason why I wanted to make sure whether he had 11 speed or not, because Colum's base speed is 10. In order to steal items from an enemy, you need to have equal to or higher speed than them. This means that if that guy had 11 speed, any item that he steals is gone forever, because Colum can't steal it back, unless Colum gains a point of speed in the level up. Okay, that archer needs to go. But I do have a plan here. I have a plan. And the plan is, you do 6 times 2, Ross takes out that axeman from over the wall, Franz finishes off this archer. That should be good. Just gotta watch these guys, because I don't want to kill them prematurely. I want to show off how stealing works. Okay, so like I said, Ross takes out this guy, hopefully. Thank you, and now I need to get rid of that archer. HP. Okay, I'm gonna actually just move Seth back here just because I want to see how much she does. Not enough. That's pretty typical of Nimai, actually. But Franz is gonna work. So now I can safely break this wall, because I don't need to worry about the archer running through and attacking Vanessa. I'll do it with a melee weapon this time. And wall down. And let's get some free experience from Mulder here. There's still one chest that I haven't opened, so I'm going to need to move Colum back, which is going to prevent him from being in a good position to steal. Okay, now if Erica gets too crazy here, I'll be losing out. That might have been a stupid idea. I just realized that. I don't want to say why, because I'll jinx it if I do. Oh, this could be bad. Okay, 20% hit rate. That's fine. Okay, good. As long as one of them misses, that's okay. If they both hit her, that would have been terrible. With True Hit, you can generally afford to take risks like this. Yeah, as you can see, that guy did hit her, though, with True Hit. So if they'd both hit, that would have been bad. Now, Erica needs healing. And yeah, not going to do that, because if she gets hit, she dies. Franz, you should... it's annoying that Franz isn't doubling these guys. Wow, you are the luckiest hand axe user ever. Okay, that's good. That's good. That made up for you not getting strength and defense last level up. Okay, then. Okay, then. I may need to retreat Erica a little bit. Or not. Depends on whether I can kill these two, which I probably can, actually. I'll need to steal from him, and then I think you can just shoot him. Alternatively, I can just use Ross. It's probably best if I use Ross there. That's for the other guy. Yeah, I need to make sure that he's not in range of Erica, so I'll just move Erica down here, and I'll just have her heal. Actually, I don't even need to worry about whether or not Erica's in range, because that heal would have saved her from anyway. So, yoink! You can't steal weapons in this game, but you can still get some pretty decent items out of stealing sometimes. Okay, Hand Axe guy will be able to attack Ross if I do that. But Hand Axe I will also be able to attack her if I do that with her. So it's pretty much the same thing. I highly doubt that Ross is going to get doubled, so I think I'm safe doing this. 1% crit rate now. Experience is dropping off a little bit, but Ross is still leveling up pretty well after every kill. You are gaining luck every level up. This is ironically not very lucky. If I put Seth there, Ross is not going to get attacked, and that guy is hopefully not going to go for Seth, and even if he does, they like to go for long range where they can't attack you, so that should be alright. I do quite like this theme, though. Oh, you're attacking Column, okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to be a little inefficient with the chest here, because Column, if I'm gonna want to steal out of an item, Column needs to go all the way back to that chest, then all the way back here. Which is unfortunate, but oh well. Because I need to use the chest key on this chest down here. Not quite enough move to grab that chest. I would like Franz to kill that guy, but it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. Unless I do this. Unless I do that. Okay. Okay, she didn't miss. I didn't want to jinx that. That could have gone badly if she did miss. Watch your range, because I don't want to kill you too early. And let's just finish you with Franz. So most of the enemies are cleared out, apart from the two remaining. A couple of people around here need healing, though. So, Mulder will need to get on that. Watch out. Yeah, that guy there is a mercenary. I believe that's the first time we're seeing... No, I definitely know that's the first time we're seeing that class in this game. So, he has more speed. Thankfully, his speed is equal to Column, so Column can still steal from him. Don't know if I've ever seen that guy have 11 speed before. I've definitely seen the other thief have 11 speed. And if your inventory is full, you can just choose to send one item straight to the convoy. Which is convenient. And since the convoy is attached to your main lord, who, if they die, it's game over anyway, you don't need to worry about ever losing the convoy mid-chapter. So, anyone who gets items up to their inventory limit, it's fine. And flying units can stand on the barrels, funnily enough. how long is it going to take for Colin to get back here? I'm just going to sit around here and heal people until that happens, because I kind of want to steal that item. It's not really necessary that you steal these, I just kind of want to show it off because we've just got a thief. There are later chapters, though, where stealing is very, very important. A couple of pretty useful items that you can only get by stealing, and also stealing at a later point in the game makes actually 2 of the bosses pretty hilarious. And a javelin from this chest. So these are basically all items that we could have bought earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if I lure him now, Colin will actually be able to steal next turn. There's something that I could say here, but I really don't want to. I don't like tempting fate. So, come here, mercenary. I'm sure this guy's a 1% crit rate. I'm sure I have seen him crit on at least 1 attempt before. Of course, his damage output is usually so bad that it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, you can't. You can't quite get to him. I may have to stall this guy here. Okay, you got 2 free slots in your inventory. Kind of silly that I'm doing this for the 2nd chapter in a row, but this is the only way you can have people unequipped. I really like how in later games you could just unequip your weapon. That started, I believe, in... don't know if it was in any of the SNES games. I know it was in Path of Radiance. But here, the only way you can do that is to just strip your inventory. Go into a lot of effort for an antitoxin that I probably won't use anyway, but still. And your inventory... yeah, you can't steal if your inventory is full, but there's a way to get around that, except Erica's inventory is full as well. Okay. But, what Erica can do is she can send some of her items to the convoy. And... let's see... well, Fran's going to have to get those out of the convoy, but still. I want to make sure that I can do this. Thankfully, trading is a free action. Now I can steal that antitoxin, which I'm probably never going to use, but still. It's fun stealing from things. And I suppose I can just heal Franz. So we're almost ready to just fight the boss here. After Franz reclaimed his items. Sometimes I like to have Nimai on hand for this boss. She does help occasionally. Okay, thankfully you have no chance of critting him, but Colum obviously has no chance of killing him, because their speeds are tied. That's not 100% reliable. I'd rather go for the completely reliable kill, so... then again, though, if Colum does kill, then I'll be able to send Franz up further. I mean, he's already in position anyway, so it doesn't really... you know, I'm going to go ahead and go for this. I like how thieves just basically use daggers in this game, and yet they're still swords. Okay, we don't want to go... yeah, so in this game, movement ranges on bosses are kind of a lie. This guy is showing his full movement range, but he won't go off his throne. So just don't stay 2 spaces away from him, because he does have a hand axe. Steel Axe has 15 weight, so that actually does nerf his speed quite a bit, so it's generally recommended that you let him use that. Okay, so I'm just going to send Erica, like, up here, just so that Franz can reclaim his inventory. I'll be taking that, and I'll also be taking that back. Like I said, sometimes Nimai helps here, occasionally Ross does too, but he generally needs constant healing from Mulder, because he will be taking a few hand axes to the face. So yeah, you do tend to double this guy if he's got his steel axe equipped, but it does hit very hard. Gonna leave Franz there, just in case he gets hit twice. And yeah, Nimai can shoot him with no repercussions if he's not equipping his hand axe, but he usually will switch to it if she's there. And now I have ridiculously blessed Erica to help him as well. But I need her to seize, obviously. I'm the head of this bandit pack, the mighty Baspa. Hope you enjoy your life, because it's about to end. Don't know why, I just always kind of pictured him having a silly accent like that. I'm not going to do that for anyone else in this game, don't worry. But I love making fun of Fire Emblem bandits, because they're all stupid. Okay, another round of attacks from Fran should put this guy into... Let's see. 55 hit rate is very shaky. 6 times 212. That will actually put him into kill range, though. Oh, and I could finish him off with Column anyway, and then have Erica seize. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Had a feeling that he'd hit. Okay, so either Ross does it, but if Ross misses, it's not the end of the world. In fact, she could do it too. But I'm definitely going to be having Ross on my final team, and I probably won't be having Nemo on my final team. And hey, Ross did it! No, my Basba is a... I apologize. Sincerely. Well, gaining defense is rare for him, I'll take that. And with that, all the chests, we got all the sealable items, so we're pretty much safe with... Actually, we're not. I can get a little bit more experience out of Mulder. Unfortunately, needs a... Pretty sure I'll need 2 more heals to level up. So anyway, let's seize this. Actually not, because he gained 1 point of experience from getting attacked earlier. No, I don't think you could have. Even with all the weapon triangle disadvantages they had, they probably still would have hit you a lot. Well, she was crying because he was doing dangerous stuff by himself. So hey, this guy can be nice sometimes. And now she's crying tears of happiness. If she's sad, she's crying. If she's happy, she's crying. This is basically her in a nutshell. I love Seth's completely dead man. This is quite touching, but... And don't mess with Seth. Seriously, don't. It will end very badly for you. But yeah, we could use a thief. And like he says, they have no home to go to anyway, so they'll probably be safer with us. And thieves are definitely a handy class to have around. And there's the bracelet. It's obviously very plot important, but... my brother has the other one. Obviously, Seth knows something, but for some reason he's not going to tell her outright until the plot demands it. But, obviously, these bracelets are very, very important. Don't let them get stolen by bandits. And in fact, we're pretty much safe for bandits for the rest of the game. That was basically it for the obligatory bandits. Which is probably more a testament to how short this game is than them not using the bandit plot very much here. And yes, this is only the beginning of our battles. That's a pretty good line, actually. But we've got a Meanwhile in Villain Land scene. So we remember her from earlier, but now we're introduced to a few of her compatriots. And yes, she has the same name as a character in Fates, but that is totally unintentional because that character was called Luna in the Japanese version. It seems like these are definitely decent people, though. Here's just a random thing. When I was first starting with the Fire Emblem series, starting with 7 and going up to like Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn, I felt like a line like this appeared in every game until about Radiant Dawn. The line, "What could His Majesty be thinking?" or something along those lines. It became like the series catchphrase to me for a while, but there have been many games since then and before that didn't have a line like this. Yes, it obviously is. But Selena's the kind of, I'm not going to question His Majesty's orders, I just follow them. Which is a shame, because she seems like she has the people's best interests at heart, but... And these three are not going to question him at all. Well, I mean, questioning him to his face would probably be a bad idea. And so, to supplement the Empire's 3 blatantly good generals, we have... the 3 couldn't get more obviously evil if you tried generals. Starting with this guy, Reeve. A bishop who was excommunicated for worshipping demons. As if his face didn't make it any more obvious that he was totally evil. Thankfully, these 3 already have realized that they're bad news anyway. And this is Kalark. Kalark is basically Aaaaand from Fates if he was actually well written. Yeah, they're not happy with this at all. And of course, this guy. The Moonstone. Great first impression there. And of course, he's pairing a good general with an evil general to balance it out. Which makes betrayal out of the question for the good generals at this point. And these 2 are tasked with hunting us down directly. And with that, we end this chapter. So, the Empire has 3 blatantly evil generals and 3 good generals. We'll see where that takes them. Next time, though, we continue our search for Erika's brother, so see you then.